Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Monday, May 23rd. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. Before I get to watch this, I first want to personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online class that I'm offering here in a couple weeks. So if you like what you see here as I go through the video and you want to learn more about this tool, then certainly get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you like what you see, then certainly get signed up for the free class. A couple of quick clarification points. First off, this number over here will still be moving around along with the candlestick right there. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. So just keep that in mind. And then also I will be using the 30-minute time frame. So for your beginners out there, what that means is that each one of these candlesticks here, as they're called, represents 30 minutes. So stock number one, SIGA. And this is exactly why I like to do these when the market's still open. Check out this final 30 minutes here of the day, and now that it's Friday that I think about it, the last 30 minutes of the week. Huge green candle, good solid volume, and the volume bar continues to grow. And this is definitely, now I suppose it depends, meaning if you're somebody that likes to play breakouts, well, yeah, for you, you missed the breakout. The breakout was right there. However, with the breakout, it now creates a very interesting situation going into next week, and that is the whole idea of a watch list, right? You find unique situations, you find interesting situations, and then don't randomly buy, but you watch them and see if they behave in a manner that ultimately fits your personal trading strategy. And the situation here, obviously very clear. Big breakout, which brings about the question of, is this the start of something even bigger? Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing is a false breakout and it just rolls back over. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, maybe it is. And before you know it, this thing's going to be up over $15, $20 next week. I have no idea. But the point here, again, going back to the philosophy of a watch list, is this is a very unique event, a very worthwhile event to at least watch and see how things play out. So yeah, is this the start of something bigger? Let's see how it plays out next week. Next one, RDBX, and I like this one a lot, mainly because of the pattern here. And let me be very clear, I'm not trying to imply that this is a secret discovery on my part or that I have some sort of special talent. I assure you a lot of people are watching this pattern, and I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same patterns, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movements. And the pattern here that we have, let's just get it drawn up. You're going to have the resistance portion of it right there at $5.50, and then you'll have the support portion of it right there. In fact, let me change that to green to represent more so the bullish dynamic of it. And then maybe just to make it all easier to see, let's keep it one color. So we have resistance, we have support, we have the momentum move right there. And this would be known as a bull flag pattern. So if you like to play bull flag patterns, if you like to play stocks down below $10, this would certainly be worth watching. But again, going back to that whole self-fulfilling prophecy attribute, no guarantees, but it's plausible to think that if the price comes up to the top part of that pattern and breaks through it, that break could very well create additional buying pressure. Again, to reiterate, no such thing as a guarantee, but is that at least a plausible, rational thought process to have? Absolutely. Next one, NIO, started off very nice on the day with a gap up, but like the overall markets, took a beating pretty much the entire opening part of the day. Although, to be fair, nice final afternoon here as the price works its way back upwards. Now, in the very near term, if all you look at is today, then you do have a bear flag pattern, but that is just one day. So just because, now it goes both ways, right? Just because something is bullish does not mean that for sure the price is going to go up. Just because something is bearish doesn't mean that for sure the price is going to go down. So I call this a bear flag, but that does not mean that, oh, okay, this thing is for sure going to go downwards. Not saying that at all. Now, would it be shocking? Would that catch people off guard? I don't think so, but there are no foregone conclusions. But you do have to, like I said, give credit that the price is at least starting to show some signs of strength here as the market moves up. So as far as areas of resistance, if you watched my videos previously, then this level up here should sound familiar, right up there at the $17 mark. But before you put too much emphasis on 17, prices first got to get above and stay above that purple line there, which on my chart denotes a very famous 50-period moving average. So watch that area in the near term as resistance. But yes, if the price can push above that 50-period, then the next key level up there at 17. In terms of levels of support, the very well-defined level to watch moving forward, going to be right there around $15.65. And then not that far below there, you have that pink line, the 200-period moving average as support, currently valued at $15.40. So those will definitely be the main levels that I think the majority of people and traders will be watching early next week. Next one, AMC. Rough day in AMC. Not necessarily because it was a red day, but because it had been doing such a good job of holding up above that green line there. You can see just several times the price kept testing over the past few days. Even early this morning, you can see price came down there, bounced right off it. So it held once again. But when the price did finally, break below it right there, that's what opened up the floodgates and down it went. And that's also what brings about the first key update, which is based on a foundation rule in charting, which states when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So if there are any sort of, bigger bounces back to the upside, right around that 1260 mark will be that main area of resistance. As far as supports are concerned, it's all about that gap close location today, down around the 1125 mark. So got somewhat close, but not quite there, but 1125 will be that near-term area of support. But yeah, no doubt about it, rough day today. Next one, IMMX, and this premise is very straightforward, and the premise is this: strong move up, and yes, now the price has started to pull back. So it's just a question of, do you believe in the overall trend? Is this just a healthy pullback or is it not? And what I drew here was, a bull flag pattern. So yes, very, simply put, if you like to play stocks down below $5 that are in bull flag patterns, then this is one of them. But the whole idea behind the bull flag is the fact that it did show a whole lot of strength via the gap up, but then it did start to pull back. Now, like I said, this is a two-sided coin, so maybe it's not. Maybe this downwards move here is actually the beginning of the end, and that thing's going to keep on bleeding, which is why risk management is so important. But going back to that two-sided coin, because it is a two-sided coin, well, maybe this is just a healthy pullback within a much larger move. Then all of a sudden it comes up there and gets the breakout through the top of that pattern. That's also possible. But the idea here, again, is not to randomly buy, but to locate patterns, to locate situations, and then watch them and see how they continue to develop. But there's no doubt about it today with the volume on it, the nice pattern that's formed. It'll be interesting to at least keep an eye on next week, assuming you like to play this price range. Next one, AMD, and like the overall market's rough day. And the level here that I think a lot of people will be watching next week. So again, we can call it one of these self-fulfilling prophecy points. But I have a sneaky suspicion that a lot of people have drawn that trend line, as it's done a fantastic job of just showing where, these various levels of resistance are. So again, nothing's guaranteed, but it's plausible to think that if the price can work its way up here and get a break up through that line, that level right there could create quite a bit of upwards buying pressure, which seems, maybe, because you got to give credit where credit's due. Nice, strong afternoon here. In fact, last 30 minutes, look at this thing just continue to move to highs here, even broke up above that 200 period moving average, a pink line right there. So it seems as though that trend line is going to be within striking distance on Monday, but we'll have to see how things play out over the weekend. In terms of levels of support, I think it bounced right off of, yeah, amazing. So right here, you had this gap up, and the low of that gap up was at 88.40, and then you can see today, basically the low was right around that same general level right there. So 88.40 going to be the key level of support, which I admit right now seems a little irrelevant given how strong this is. But if there is any sort of rollover, you're going to have longs watching that area thinking potential double bottom, but you're also going to have shorts watching that area thinking, well, if it breaks, then that's going to create a bunch of panic. Both people certainly have more than plausible thought processes. Next one, TXMD, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this one because you've already heard me talk about the whole idea of self-fulfilling prophecies and lines that a lot of people have drawn. And I assure you, a bunch of people have drawn that line right there at $3.35. I think there's a mosquito in here that might have just bought me. Anyways, you can see right there, rejected. There, rejected. And then once again today, rejected. So no guarantees, but is it plausible to think that if the price can work its way up to 335 and then get the breakout through there, that could create some upside buying pressure? That is certainly a more than plausible scenario. So as far as watch lists are concerned, certainly worth at least keeping an eye on. Next one, TNXP. Very nice overall uptrend right now. And, instead of just saying that, check out the nice bottom that formed a couple days ago, and now the price has just been slowly grinding upward. So as far as, hey, Clay, how do I measure the health of the current price movement? Just make sure that it's showing progress. Now, I understand showing progress. Those are just words, but that's the great thing about charts is they allow you to take words and make them very visual. So when I say it's healthy as long as it's showing progress, what I mean by quote unquote showing progress is staying above that uptrending trend line. So as long as the price is above there, it's showing progress. And my definition of being healthy is showing progress. So like I said, that's a very straightforward way to gauge the health of the current movement. But what's also interesting is that the price has now gotten the breakout through that area right there. So now it's a question of, can the price come up here and close this gap up around $2.80? And if it can close the gap, is it going to break it and then get that much more continuation? Is it going to get rejected? That all remains to be seen. But overall, that is definitely going to be the main area of resistance moving forward, like I said, because that will be the technical gap close location. But anyway, look at it. Very nice uptrend here the past couple of days that comes off the bottom, and you got to love the surge of volume that happened today. Next one, PLTR, and like a lot of these stocks, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Very, very strong afternoon here, big bounce upwards. But again, like I said, in some senses, as I mentioned, I think with AMD, just because something's bearish. So yes, you do have a bear flag. Doesn't mean that it's going to for sure go down. But I also say that because you got to keep in mind the context is, yes, this was strong, but there's still a whole lot of work that needs to be done. And once again, going back to, okay, work that needs to be done. What does that even mean? Those are just words. Well, again, a quick plug. So get signed up for the class. Charts really are great. So when I say work needs to be done, number one bit of work that needs to be done, getting back up to and closing above that 50 period moving average. And then the next big one is up there at that secondary area of resistance, which I've talked about in past videos. So those are the next bit of works that need to be done. No, don't get me wrong. It got off to a good start here, but there's still more that needs to come. As far as levels of support are concerned, main level here that I think a lot of people are going to be watching now, especially with this strong bounces, you're going to have people drawing that trend line right there. So I'll change that to green to represent more so the support dynamic of things. And really within the big picture, if you want to take a look at this from a multi-day standpoint, so resistance, support, momentum move right there. Basically have a longer term bull pennant pattern here that's formed. So it'll be interesting to see which way it breaks next week. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and a very, very rough one. Yeah, it had a good afternoon. Nice last 30 minutes here. But, a lot of these other ones seem to have been a bit better. But overall, these levels of support were just destroyed. And 680 had been a very, very important level. So to see that one even broken was pretty significant within at least the technical analysis world for Tesla. And that's also what brings about, in my mind, going to be a main area of resistance next week. Just factored on when levels of support tend to break, they act as resistance. So 680, if this bounce does continue, you're going to have all sorts of people watching that level. So I'm not trying to proclaim that 680 is a secret discovery. Like I said, it'll be very, very relevant next week. If the price can push up above it, then the next key level to watch from a resistance standpoint is going to be that purple line there, the 50 period moving average. And then as far as supports are concerned, very, very, very straightforward. Just a question of where did the bleeding finally stop today? And you can see basically 3 candles in a row. The price bounced right off of 630. Really? 633.24. 633 on the dot. 633 on the dot. Wow. So a $600 stock hit within, 30 cents right at 633. So yes, a lot of people will be watching that level. So that is without doubt one of those self-fulfilling prophecy type locations for sure. But for me, the trade plans that I'll be basing things off of on Monday will be 680 as resistance and the 633 as support. So let's see what happens with it. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about this tool and how it can be used to help make good consistency as a trader, then certainly get signed up for the free class. But on that note, if you don't feel like waiting that long for the live class, I can send you a link to a previous one that I've done that was live. So just drop me an email, clay@claytrader.com, because I totally understand if you don't feel like waiting 2 weeks, then yeah, just drop me an email and I'd be happy to send you. So again, for transparency's sake, what I send you is not going to be live. It'll be a recording of a previous live one, but I want to just be very clear on that. But yeah, like I said, if you don't feel like waiting, go ahead and drop me an email. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, if you would like for me to continue to make these videos and put in the time and effort to create them, then please let me know by doing 2 things. Hit the like button, leave a simple comment. Say hi, tell me what you're doing this weekend. Tell me what you traded today. Tell me what you're watching next week. But those 2 things go a long way in communicating to me that you enjoy these videos. And as long as I know people are enjoying, then I will continue to put the time and effort required to structure these videos and watch lists for you. So like I said, again, get signed up for the free class or just drop me an email. And everybody take care. Have a good weekend.